We began our journey into constant structure cycles in our last session, and this time we're continuing our quest of improving our proficiency in this area by exploring some alternative inversions and some chromatic movement right now. Hey, and welcome back as we continue our journey of encouraging each other as we sharpen our piano and keyboard skills together. Now, I am completely enjoying our journey together, so please take a few moments to subscribe and of course share your comments and suggestions either here or to the Drills and Skills email in the description. So, we will continue building our proficiency in the three most common chords in contemporary music, these being the major, minor, and dominant sevenths. And of course, we're going to be using the constant structure approach used in our last session as we target specific qualities of chords and navigate through them. So without any more chit-chat, let's get into it. So get accustomed to checking the description for the useful websites that I will include with all of these sessions, and of course the email for all your questions. But to start things off, we'll leave out the root position tetrads this time and explore first, second, and third inversions chromatically or by semitones. Nice. Now, as we continue to get our fingers accustomed to the various shapes of these chords, we will recognize that the location of the root and the seventh in the chord gives us an indication of which inversion we are playing, right? In the case of first inversion, this is at the top of the chord. Switch hands and do the same thing. Right, so by doing this, hands separately, we can really get in touch with how these chords feel. And of course, please listen and make a mental note of how it sounds as well, right? Very important. Alrighty, let's tackle this second inversion in the same way. Right. Now as we do these, we should notice that the root and the seventh are now in the middle of the chord. You see that? Good. Now switch hands again. Of course, listen to and try to identify how the position of this dissonance in the chord determines the character of the chord. Can you hear it? Nice. As we do these, make a note of how these chords feel. Good stuffage. Now the third inversion is next. Did you notice how the root and seventh are now at the bottom of the chord? Yeah. Well, look, this relationship will remain the same for all the different seventh chords that you will learn, so keep it in mind, okay? Good stuff. Switch hands and keep going. Now look, you need to be patient as you learn these shapes. And being patient will be critical to your development, right? So keep at it. Make sure to take some time for you. Good, we're looking cool. Now look, let's do the minor sevenths now, starting with first inversion. Did you see the similarity between the major sevenths and this one? Do you see the similarities? Are you noticing that the root and the seventh are again at the top? Of course you're noticing that. See, I told you. Switch hands. Nice. Now look, you're gonna soon be very comfortable with these as you continue to practice every day, right? Again, make sure that you carefully listen to these as you play them. Righty, second inversion is next. And of course, because you are all lovely, bright, and smart, you've picked up that the root and seventh are again in the middle of these chords, right? Elementary, my dear Watsons. Good, good, good. Of course, it would be a great idea to add this session to the first constant structure one for best results. And if need be, click the card above and review if necessary, okay? Super duper, folks. Let's do third inversion. Minor seventh still. Nice. Hey, pay attention to the sound and feel of these, right? Now that the root and sevenths are at the bottom of these chords. You feel that? You hear how it sounds too? So make a mental note of how these both feel and sound through the keys, all right? Alrighty. Look, remember, smaller chords are contained in bigger ones. This means that these chords that we're working on right now are going to pretty much form the foundation of our future studies, yes? So trust me, you're going to want to know these really well. So be careful and detailed about this, okay? All right, let's get to the dominant sevenths now. Yeah. All of our previous observations apply, so we can approach these pretty much intuitively as our hands get accustomed to these shapes, right? Nice. Remember now, no sustain pedal. Work those fingers. All right. Now, if you're consistent with your practice, your hands will begin to assume these shapes in an automatic way. And this is what we want, right? Yeah. That way, when you're playing, you can concentrate on being expressive and performing and not how to play the chords, right? You just want to express yourself. Good stuff. Switch your hands and do the same thing. All right. Good stuff. Now we'll continue with the constant structures, again, of the major, minor, and dominant sevenths, hands separately, of course, and this will complement our previous session as we will now be looking at the cycles between the first and the third inversions. So let's get cracking. Again, we'll be starting with the major seventh cycles from D, and then of course a half step higher to E flat. I'm sure that you will appreciate our first block as these shapes are now going to be a little easier to navigate since you've been exposed to them earlier, right? You can say thank you, Draydan. Now remember to be consistent and even. No sustain pedal. Work those little fingeries. Switch hands and do the same thing. Good. Now listen to and ensure that you can hear each of the notes in these chords, right? Good. Pay attention to how the voices are moving in between these chords, right? You should pick up some patterns. Being attentive to these kinds of details will help you to anticipate the chord shapes. Yeah. Well done. Okay, half step higher to E flat. That's where we're starting. Now remember that we will be encountering the same chords, but their inversions will be flipped from the last time, yes? Good. Make sure you do these as carefully as possible. All right. Feel the shapes and listen to those textures. Good. Did you notice the alternating position of the root and seventh notes in these chords? See, they're shifting position, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll do the dominant 7th next. Again, pay attention to the way the notes in these chords move between them, yes. Good. Maintain your evenness and, of course, stay in time with the metronome. Yeah. Now, I know that your fingers are beginning to feel more secure. I know this. So just think of how much better they will feel as you practice every day, right? I'm selling it. Always keep the vision of yourself playing beautiful music firmly in your mind as you do this. Yep. Celebrate each day as a step towards accomplishing this, right? Nice. Keep it up. Remember, keep those hands relaxed as much as possible. No funny tension. Look, being tensed up or anxious will not do you any favors. Maintain your focus on the shapes and sounds as you play. Keep listening. Now to the minor 7th cycles. Yeah. Always listen to make sure the chords are consistent. Alright. Hey, and don't forget to always call out the chords when you play them too, right? In your practice time, calling them out will help you to remember them. And you want to be able to associate chord names with these shapes, okay? Good. Take it up to E flat and start there. Of course, set a tempo that is comfortable for you. But you know, you must find balance, right? You don't want to be too comfortable that you're not challenged to get better, okay? Alright. Our ultimate objective is to improve and to become more proficient, right? So, keep going. And if you make mistakes, acknowledge them and correct them by repeating the chords, okay? Pay attention to the ones that feel strange. Make note of them and play them a few times, right? Good job! Well, we'll cap today's session with our wee wiggly finger workout, which we will be playing finger patterns by both hands, outlining major, minor, and dominant 9th chords, and ascending in half steps or semitones. This means our hands will be separated by a 10th, and the pattern that we will use is 1-3-7-5 in the left, while the right plays 3-5-9-7 of the chords, so we're heading in. Now, remember to set a tempo that is challenging but not overbearing. We'll be repeating each shape twice now, but you are free to do more when you determine the time that you want to spend in your own practice session. Pay attention to how your hand feels, right? If it starts to cramp, take a mini break, but continue afterward, okay? Good. Even if you slow down, that's fine. Okay, descending. Remember, it's better to practice in short periods every day than long, inconsistently scheduled practice periods, right? So set aside some time and stick to it as much as possible. Ah yes, feeling real good. Let's do the dominant. Listen, a good idea would be to have a couple of practice buddies, right? And that way you can be accountable to each other. And of course, encourage each other to do better, right? Celebrate those improvements and make note of the difficulties. And of course, determine to do better each time. Now look, these workouts are to help your fingers to get flexible and strong, right? So while improving our finger strength, it's also helping us to recall these shapes a little better, right? You're feeling it, right? Last one, minors. Doing good? Now look, even if this is tough now, just keep going because you're gonna get better each day, right? And when you make mistakes, don't get all miserable and grouchy. Just correct it and keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Alrighty, coming down to the wire. A little bit more. Almost there. And we're done. Look at that. We got through, didn't we? Nice. Now look, remember to add these to your routine as you get progressively more comfortable with your playing, okay? And don't forget, 3 keys every day, except for the exercises in cycles, yes? Don't neglect to make and take the time to listen and transcribe. You can only really learn how music truly feels by doing this. And I'm looking forward to your comments and your emails of songs to listen to and work through. Or perhaps if you have other tutorial suggestions, feel free to drop them in there. Remember to journal your challenges so that you can know what you have to work on. And if you have not done so already, take a moment and subscribe. And let's stay in touch as we share successes and struggles. So make this week of practice special and productive, friends. And I'm looking forward to another session when, God willing, we'll meet again to share more drills to increase our skills.